Now we've talked a bit about startups and about the global economy. Now we're going to meet a 100-year-old with a passion for wooden floors. Their CEO is younger. Kerstin Lindell, welcome. Kerstin, you're the CEO of Bona.
Yeah,
What do you do?
we produce products for wood floors. So we have done that for 100 years, installation, renovation. So not the wood itself, all the products to maintain it and keep it beautiful for more than 100 years.
How many of you went to the Copenhagen airport yesterday? Quite a lot of you. Then you've actually walked the floors of Bona.
Exactly. A good reference.
It must be a great reference.
Yeah, indeed.
You're going to tell us about the journey, the Bona journey, and the possible trade-off or no trade-off between going green or growth.
Yeah. So innovation, sustainability, and international expansion has taken us a long way. So a nice growth for the last 10 years that you will learn soon more about.
Please.
So actually 2 weeks ago we had a big celebration with all the Asian team in Shanghai, and then we continued in Malmö with all the European team, and then in Denver, Colorado with America, Canada, and Latin America. So it was a party for 24 hours, like a good 100-year party, right? Yeah. So 1919, Bona was founded. That was why we had this great celebration. And this journey is actually around sustainability from the start, because instead of installing and ripping out a wooden floor, that is a value destruction, big time, but also it's not sustainable, of course. So with our solutions, from the beginning, the maintenance, installation, renovation of the wooden floors can actually make it last for 100 years, being more beautiful with time. So the whole business model of Bona is around sustainability, to prolong the lifetime of a wooden floor. And we are focusing very much culturally around our values, passion, performance, pioneering. So that's what we live for every day. So this is a summary of a Bona company, founded in 1919 by this gentleman, Wilhelm Edner. So it's the third generation family-owned company. So 3 family CEOs, and I'm the second external. So 5 CEOs in 100 years. That's also quite long-term perspective. From the start, focusing on bringing out the beauty in floors. The whole system with finishes, floor care, sanding machines, adhesives, all the products you need from installation, renovation, maintenance for the lifetime of a floor. Our customer groups, the craftsmen, that's about 60% of the business, and that's the core, the floor renovator. And we have excellent solution for we're coming back to that. About a third today is end consumer. And that is a new business we built the last 10 years, and I'm coming back to that story. And then we have part to installation market, that is the industrial manufacturers. Today we have 17 subsidiaries and more than 70 distributors, so we export to 90 countries. So 98% of the sales is outside Sweden. However, the main office is in Sweden, so that's our heritage and in our DNA. About 600 people globally, 5 production units, 1 in China, 1 in Germany, 1 in Sweden, and 2 in US. So we produce locally on the continents we are shipping to. Sustainability, coming back to that, it's very core to our success, and our mission is creating beautiful floors to bring happiness to people's lives. And this we live every day, the passion for floors, the inspiration, devotion, the architect and designer, having them subscribing sustainable, innovative, beautiful solutions for floors, performance like the Kastrup Airport, we have hospitals, we have NBA courts, so really high wear and high performance is needed. And then pioneering, we are always, to become market leader, we need to stay innovation leader. And actually now we're looking to expanding into premium floors. And I'm coming back to that because we need to continue grow for coming 100 years. And then we also see how we can transform our knowledge in wood floors to other floor substrates. And here is a feel-good movie.
If these floors could talk, imagine the stories they'd tell. Stories of good days gone by, polished by the jammy-clad knees of children learning to crawl and walk and run and eat cereal without spilling. Much. Stories of mums and dads pacing these floors night after night, singing softly and patting the backs of babies with frights, fears or fevers. Tales of business and industry, pioneering generations who have seen typewriters give way to computers, snail mail to email, couriers to the cloud, rows of grey metal desks to cubes and open plans. Listen closely, and you may even hear the squeak of sneakers on a basketball court. Stories of knowledge brought to life. Timeless celebrations of art and artifacts. The grace of magic, of creative expression. And the everyday passionate miracles that bring us healing, hope and joy. Echoes of the vintage past. Promises for the future. Unlimited possibilities that only arise when someone cares enough to use the very best. We'd hear it all if these floors could talk. Because for 100 years, the men and women who craft these floors have put their trust in Bona. Innovative and sustainable solutions for every wooden floor challenge, from installation and renovation to maintenance and care. And now, as we move into our next 100 years, Bona is building on this proud heritage with a constant drive to provide new methods, materials, and products ranging from new areas of your home and business to the hallways, classrooms, and boardrooms that are a part of your life and the things you love. Bona, creating beautiful floors to bring happiness to people's lives and all of the wonderful stories they tell.
So I hope you get the feeling about the passion, performance, pioneering in this movie, and also there is a glimpse of 100 years of trust in wood floor excellence, and now we build to grow into premium floors. So that's the next step in our journey. But let's start where it all was founded 1894 in Malmö, in the city center. This gentleman, he was selling coffee and floor wax, and in Swedish that's bonvax. And actually that is the name to bona a floor. The generic name to polish a floor is bonvax and bona a floor. So that's where it all started, in the city center. And then this gentleman, he started produces his own wax, the floor wax. And then he founded the Bona company, 1919. So that's where it all started, in the city center of Malmö with coffee and floor wax. Pretty cool. And to be the company we are today, market leader globally, we also have managed to stay innovation leader with sustainability in mind. And it's started being a chemical company producing sustainable solutions, high quality, exporting from the plant in Sweden. So of course the quality had to be really up to standard when you arrive to Asia or Germany or wherever. It needed to do the job for the craftsman. So it's been a very long journey looking at innovation and sustainability. And of course, the tough legislation in Sweden has been an export advantage, because being ahead of legislation, then we have never really faced any issues when we go on export markets, which is also really good. And there is some milestones in the Bona history, and since it's a 100-year celebration this year, we invested in some films. So here is one more about the Bona history. So this 100-year story has led us to have a lot of solutions for installation, renovation, maintenance globally. With that knowledge, we are expanding to premium floors, and that is stone tile, laminate, linoleum, cork. So instead of working with 4-5% of a total floor market, now we're looking at 25-30%. That will be a lot of new growth opportunities for us. So the last 5 years, we started this journey to expand the scope to a real line extension, being a premium floor producer globally. And I started with that. The craftsmen, they have been the core of the Bona customers' value proposition, that we provide a dust-free, smell-free, waterborne sanding. We learned the importance of clean air, and you could imagine the damage to the lungs with dust from sanding a floor. So with dust-free and smell-free solutions, today the craftsman can finish the floor. So that is, of course, for the health benefit of all the craftsmen, a huge deal. And of course, for the professionals, like at Kastrup Airport that we talked about, there is always someone almost year-round maintaining the floor and doing that in a public area. And we do that in hospitals, schools, restaurants, hotels. It's very important to have healthy solutions. Asthma, allergy, proven products, smell-free, dust-free, and so on. And of course, for the craftsmen as well, the cleaning professionals. And this is a huge deal. It looks very much like the Nederman. We have very, very good products, but without service and support, it does not go a long way. And with 90 countries that we are exporting to, very few, they have a proper craftsman education, how to take care of a wooden floor. So many craftsmen, the only education they get in taking care, installing, renovating and maintaining the floors is via a Bona craftsman school. And that is pretty cool. And today you can see that the best craftsmen, we get a listing of Bona certified craftsmen, and with a high maintenance recognition with the end consumer. But they want to have their floor sanded, they are calling on the Bona certified craftsmen guys. So it's an easy sell pitch to the sales guys, to the craftsmen, that you get, an education when you start using our products. Then you get the feedback for the education, you get service and support continuously, and on top of that, we give you customers. So with digitalization, we can list the craftsmen in your area. So when you're happy using the Bona maintenance products, when you call a certified craftsman guy, and he's coming with dust-free and smell-free sanding, fixing your floor. So that's a very nice value proposition. So back to Anders Borg, give some extra value to the customers, and also, and in this case, the craftsmen, if they have a problem, they can just take their device, iPhone or iPad, take a photo, click of a problem, send it into a support center, and then you get a video link, do this. So then we can suddenly support a lot of more craftsmen. In the past, we had Peter in Austria, and then he needed to go to Poland, and said, okay, he can come next week, but, then the shop is opening in the weekend. So today, we can actually support a lot more craftsmen by having digital support online. So that is also a big advantage. So it's the service and support, it's the convenience, and it's the digital possibilities that made this really being in a big scale now very, very appreciated. And that we would do, of course, with premium floors as well. And this development has been the last 10 years. So we are really, really proud about this, and it's so appreciated by the craftsmen. And no of our competition can copy this on a global scale. So we are doing this in 90 countries. So that's a good value proposition for the craftsmen. And for industrial customers, of course, with having maintenance solutions in 90 countries available, of course, that's a big advantage for industrial manufacturers as well to use Bona solutions. And there is, some example of known companies. Bo & Bauwerk is one of the oldest one from Norway and Switzerland for people from Switzerland, very high quality. So we have a strong presence in both in Europe, Asia, and Latin America in industrial manufacture. And then, of course, the end consumer. We talked about 1/3 of our business today that we created, and that's 1 billion in profitable business that we added in about 10 years. That's a huge value added, and also that's the communication to the end consumer to use asthma allergy proven products and then start using the Bona Craftsman for renovation. So that's how we connect the two business models in installation, renovation, and maintenance in about 90 countries. So that's pretty cool, the international opportunities. And then we also have a DIY assortment. DIY is biggest in Scandinavia and the German-speaking countries, but still we have a easy-to-use solution for the guys who want to do this themselves. And today, retail customers, we have 9 of the top 10 global retail customers. And 10 years ago, we hardly had any retail of that size. And today we have the big guys, Walmart, Home Depot, Target, Lowe's, Costco. So of course that has provided us with a lot of growth opportunities and also giving the craftsman job. So it's really a nice success story. And this is of course continue on a global scale. And we also have focused a lot of sustainability, and actually this was part of a success story even before we talked about CSR and sustainability in that way, because that was the way to be successful exporting waterborne finishes, pioneering in that already 79, having the waterborne adhesives, launching the greenest product back then, the Bona Mega, dust-free sanding, ceasing the solvent-based finishes, adhesives, so on. So it has been a continuous journey. So it is not a revolution, it is an evolution that made this offer very relevant to our customers. So we are really, really proud about this evolution in sustainable thinking. And I'm coming back with a few recent examples how we deal with that. And of course, being market leader, we need to stay innovation leader. And that is the core of our offer, to be product excellent, to be relevant in all these countries. And today, even globally, half of coating solutions for wood floors is solvent-based, and half is waterborne. In the waterborne segment, we have a high market share and had a good growth. But the good news is that a better global ban of solvents would definitely benefit, of course, the global warming and the heating of our earth, but also that could double our business opportunities quickly. So the good news when I talk to politicians is that, even coming from a chemical company, I say that tougher legislation is actually very good for our business. It would be a big competitive advantage because we have a solutions in-house to do that and capture the growth opportunities. And today, with all the focus, and you talked this morning about the importance of indoor quality and the clean air solution. And of course, it's not only for the craftsmen doing the job daily, but with families, kids, asthma, allergy. Today we have a lot of products filling that need of asthma allergy proven products. So that is very, very important. And more compact living, green buildings, it's easy to understand the need for clean air in your home. And that we see a big interest in Asia, where they are really afraid of polluted air. So we have a big trustworthiness here, but we have done this for 100 years with good solutions for maintaining floors. So we are, even from a low level, but online, selling very, very well in Asia. So we have a value proposition that fit the middle class in Asia, and they are they are well informed, and they are rich enough to buy our products. So that's a win-win in many ways. So this is what we have offered the craftsmen. A bit of repetition, but the emissions, the dust sanding, the ergonomic aspects, it's so important because that craftsman category in the past, using solvent-based products, formaldehyde that's cancerogenic, dust from the wood, they were not really in a good position when they went into retirement. So today you have a much better solution for all the craftsmen. And we have been working with the sustainability goals of UN. We're not going into detail about it. We picked 3, fair and decent workplace and economic growth, goal and industry innovation and infrastructure, and responsible consumption and production. And here is a short movie, and that's the last one, I promise. Maybe some sound? No? So I'm coming back to some examples. Of course, we focus a lot, since we are manufacturing, to reduce our CO2 footprints as a production. And if we look here, the research and development, of course, that's very key in the sustainability work we're doing, all the way from the raw materials. We are backwards integrated, and that's one of the very few in the industry. So with that, we provide high quality, we keep the innovation in-house, so we are not easily copied from our competition. Of course, they would love to copy our main products, but that's very hard for them since we have innovation in-house, and then we control the quality and the raw materials. And we're working very hard to get greener chemicals and work on the sustainability. Production, we are highly automated and working on improving our efficiency. And distribution, I think this is a very good example where you can really make a difference. In Malmö, we shipped our products to our distribution center in Germany. And it's a lot of finishes and stuff you need to move down to Germany, and then you move it out to Asia and all of Europe. So by just moving the goods from Malmö production to Limburg, or Frankfurt area, that's Limburg, we reduced the CO2 emission by 60% by using train instead of trucks. So it is definitely doable. It took 1 day longer, but it's not a big deal. It's just a matter of planning. And then you can actually do a big impact because transportation is a big thing for emissions. So we are trying to see where we can make more efficient transportations. So we are trying to look at the whole value chain, from R&D, the products, the system, the training to support, to incorporate the sustainability in all areas of our value chain. And for us, it's very central, the respect for the people, the craftsman, the end consumer, and the impact on the environment, reducing CO2 when possible, of course, and the sustainability, the growth with innovation and sustainability. Here is a very good example with a close cooperation with Lund Technical University. We got a funding of 3 million euro in 3 years with sustainable plastics, where we look at greener chemicals. Everyone knows the debate about plastics in the oceans, the need to do something about the reusability, recycling. And this is a really good area where we work close with Lund University. Our head of R&D of innovation here, Nicola Remberg, he is associated professor at Lund University. So that's a very good interaction between academia and business. And we are, of course, hoping to get this prolonged to another 3 years, because there is a lot of PhD students involved. So I think this will be a 6-year project where we have a lot of access to very useful information. We can also help to drive it to be more maintenance oriented. And actually here is a completely renewable finish of completely renewable raw materials of fructose. So that's really cool what you can achieve. We are working with Lund University, Malmö University, and we access about 100 million Swedish crowns of research by having these interactions only from the R&D center in Malmö. And then we are working in our R&D facilities in Germany and in US also with universities. Myself, I came as a PhD, industrial PhD from AkzoNobel, and got into the industry that way. So I think it's a quite unique Swedish model how to drive innovation in a profitable way that is a win-win both for academia and the industry. So this is part of our successes to be innovation leader. Here is one example of our newly built DC1, the distribution center, where we are shipping our products by train. There is a production close by, and where we have electrical vehicles going from the production to the distribution center. The distribution center is actually self-sufficient on electricity, and we are selling some back to the grid in the Limburg area. So that's a really true green building. We also have invested in a new Denver office, where we also try to make the building as green as we can. So whenever we're doing new investments, we're more tolerant with sustainable investments. And the Malmö site, we have solar panels, so we will be self-sufficient there as well. So there is a lot of things going on in all areas of our business. So sustainability is making us more successful, and it's something that the new employees and current employees really appreciate, that we are trying to act like a responsible citizen. And coming into that, CSR, we believe this is making our company more attractive to get the best talents on board, and also to stay profitable, to focus on the CSR, being responsible citizens. We have a lot of local examples where we work with plant a tree, the Bona forest. We have for the second turn now a complete village in India via Hand in Hand. We are sponsoring locally Tekniksprånget with an Industrinatten and Årets Tekniker. So a lot of local recognition of technicians and engineers that can make a difference. And this I added because I think this is part of our success, that we measure innovation. So my background was R&D manager from AkzoNobel, and came in 12 years ago as CEO at Bona. And then we saw that we were relying heavily on profit coming from old products. So we started looking at that profitability should come, half of the gross margin should come from products not older than 5 years. So what that is saying is that we are trying really to drive profitable innovation to have a good value proposition to our customers. So if you're too innovative, you don't make money. And you can't come up with new products all the time, because then you have to retrain the craftsman. On the other hand, you can't be too slow, because then competition can bypass you. So it's very individual what that target is, but whatever industry you are in, I think this is a very good advice to start measuring how profitable your innovation is. And this is, of course, where we get a buy-in from the R&D community within Bona. And this is cool because then they can see how they can contribute to profitable growth. And then we come to numbers. Since we are in business, our job is to add values. I was hired here when we were losing money, 2006, as a deputy CEO. And of course, it's a shock when the business back then was really, really strong. And I was appointed CEO 2007, and we started the turnaround. So then we were up at some 5% of EBIT, and a little more than 1 billion. And then we were investing wisely during the recession, 9, 10, 11, rebranding, getting a much more efficient process organization, going after the retail market, and so on. So this was actually, even if we were just making some 4 5%, 9, 10, 11, that was the reason for this really quick growth in sales and also profitability that has been really amazing. Today we are looking at 2.8 billion. Last year we ended at 2.6, and we aim at being over a business cycle at 10% EBIT. And by 2020, we will have about 10% outside wood floors, because that we see it's the next phase of growth opportunities going forward. So this was a really rewarding, and of course it's always fun to be in this hockey stick situation. But having a high market share with wood floors and not support from the global legislation banning solvent-borne products, that's why we're also looking to new growth opportunities going forward. So if we should go, 2020 is the goal to be 3 billion and 10% EBIT and 10% outside wood floors, then next phase is to go to 5 billion. But then we need, of course, to keep our position and defend that in wood floors, but expand it to other premium floors. So that's a challenge. And this growth has been only organic, so no acquisitions, which making it even more impressive, I think. But of course, going forward now with the kind of cash flow you can imagine that we can generate from this business, we are looking to do some acquisitions outside wood floors. And this is something that makes us very proud. This is brand recognition. We were starting measuring the brand recognition for wood floor owners in US back 2007-8 when the recession hit. Then it was 3%. They hardly knew us. And today we are up at 70%. And you wonder, of course, how we can make this happen, because with big players at Johnson and P&G, you know, if that would be direct mail and television, we could never compete. But this is the beauty and the strength of the digital possibilities. So we have had a really professional marketing department who has really made a tremendous value creation in the brand recognition in the US. And that's why we have 9 of the top 10 retailers in globally, and the big ones in the US. So this is really good news. You see Australia around 50%, Sweden 44%, and that's just in 2-3 years when we started the digital ads. Germany, UK, France. So before we said we could just afford to look in marketing in US, and we started there because that was the biggest retail market and one language. That was quite obvious. But with the digital possibilities, now we also go, you know, online in China with WeChat, like Facebook, that you can buy stuff. So this is happening very, very quickly. So the digital possibilities is definitely something that's working our way as a mid-sized company to move our positions ahead, especially in Asia. Our only chance is to go online. We can't have a physical distribution in just mainland China. That was a logistic nightmare. But going online and having a partner that's helping us with distribution is one way, of course, to accelerate growth as well. So this is also important with trustworthiness, building a brand around innovation and sustainability. That's how you defend your premium position and premium price in this marketplace. And the coming 100 years, as you heard me talking about, will be looking at also other flooring substrates. We will stay close to the floor because we have done that very well for 100 years. But cork, linoleum, stone, tile, laminate, where you can install, renovate, and maintain with Bona solutions, Bona products, Bona know-how. So then we can. It's never easy, but it's a quite obvious line extension that fits our way from R&D to production, logistics, and value proposition to our customers. So that's a lot of nice growth opportunities there as well going forward. So that's some success recipes from the Bona story so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerstin, and what a great success story it is.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it does.
can imagine. You said that you should stay close to the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's an advice. Copy and stay close to the floor.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. With pride.
But we don't need to copy.
Okay.
You know, I think
But-
we
but-
try to do it in-house.
But coming back to sustainability, has the sustainability been a success from a business angle?
Yeah, I think when we phased out the solvent-borne products in EU 2009, I communicated that as a new CEO 2007, but we had 2 years and then we should phase it out. And that was still profitable business. That was quite a hard thing to execute, especially when, you know, the global recession hit 2009. So that was really a no guts, no glory moment. When, you know, to build a brand to end consumer, then we had to do that move. But still, when you're, you know, in a recession type of situation, taking out profitable business, it's also hard. So when you see, you know, the success afterwards, it seems easy. But actually, back then, it was pretty hard. So you have to be focused on, you know, doing the right thing, but in a pace that the organization can manage as well.
There are some people from banks here. I'm sure that they would love to do the IPO.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
It's,
this is
it's
a
beautiful
family-owned
company.
business. This should be perfect on the Stockholm Stock Exchange.
Yeah, it's a good story, but to my knowledge, the family is not at least thinking about selling right now, so you never know. But it's an owner question.
Right.
But I don't know anything, so.
It's been family-owned for 100 years, so it's time to go public. Yeah, or whatever. It's funny with those companies that actually turn into a verb. I mean, to Google.
Or to
You
Bona.
Google. To Google. You Bona. That could be in the English language as well, or?
Yeah.
To Bona.
Yeah, and Bona in Italian is beautiful.
Yeah.
So actually we are quite happy that that is short and easy to remember. I don't think that Wilhelm Edner, when he copied the Bonavax and started his own production, was thinking about export to 90 markets and going after the consumer market. So
No.
it's, you know, we were a bit lucky. And on the way, we also, you know, for 70 years, we have the name of Bona. Then for 20 years, someone added Bona Chemie because it was more cool.
It sounded cool.
Yeah, it sounded cool at that time. And then 2008, when we were going after the consumer market, we said we have to go back to our original name, Bona, because Bona Chemie with a stylistic BK became X, and that's dangerous. So Bona X dangerous or Bonax was not ideal. So 2008, in the recession, we said, okay, now we rebrand and we go after the consumer market, because if a craftsman, they don't have anything to do, then you can't sell them finishes that's sitting on the shelf being old. So that was why we said, if we are going to go after maintenance market, now is the moment.
How large a proportion of the business is business to business?
1/3 is consumer, so
Okay.
2/3 is business to business. That's a combination of craftsmen and industrial customers.
Right.
And I think since we had the courage to go starting building the brand 2008, 9, 10, when everyone cut back in marketing spend, that was also, of course, a way to accelerate the branding recognition and getting into this retail channel. So actually that crisis led to a possibility for us to to go after an entire new market for us, which is 1 billion with a good profit for us today, and also giving jobs to our craftsmen. So it was a really successful move.
And soon you have 3 billion in total turnover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.